Good morning, everyone. I'm James, your host for MOGUL's inaugural Spotlight webinar, where we showcase a selection of handpicked properties in Singapore real estate. So today, we are happy to have 4 guests sharing about 2 residential properties, 2 commercial spaces, and a segment touching on mortgage loans. So amongst these, you will be able to find both that are suitable for owners' own occupation or even investment-worthy properties. So without further ado, allow me to introduce Marcus Ong from Century 21. Today, he will be sharing with us a rare maisonette located in District 10.
Good morning, Marcus.
Hi, morning, James. Thanks for having me here.
You're very much welcome. So, Marcus, so what are we going to have today?
Right, today we'll be sharing more about this project in District 10. It's called The Legend. Right, this Legend, it's a freehold condo. It's completed in 1996. The developer is quite well known back then. It's a subsidiary of Man Hing Leong Group. Right. So more details, this condo is located right at the edge of the Orchard area where there are a lot of amenities available. So with a superb location, the Legend actually has good connectivity to almost all parts of Singapore, be it by car, by bus, or by MRT. Right. Speaking of bus, the bus stop is just located right outside the gate, and Stevens MRT is just within 5 minutes walk. Okay. By year 2022, which is just next year, Stevens Station will be an interchange station with the Thomson East Coast Line. And that will also mean improved accessibility to the north, to the central, to the east. Okay, by car, it's just a 3 minutes drive to the PIE, and it will only take you 10 minutes to reach the central business district. Okay, so nearby, within a 4 minutes walk, it will take you to Alocasia apartment. That's where you can find a supermarket, eateries, and a 24-hour gym. Within 5 minutes drive, you arrive at Adam Road Food Centre, Newton Food Centre, where there are abundance of hawker food fare. So around this condo, there are also a lot of prestigious schools along the Bukit Timah stretch. Okay, it's within 1 km to some of the best schools, such as Singapore Chinese Girls, Anglo Chinese, and also St. Joseph Institute. There are also a lot of prestigious recreational clubs around as well.
So I happen to find that actually the proximity to Botanical Garden is actually quite good. Would you think that that would be very appropriate for children's, a family with young children to actually take a walk on a weekend morning, a stroll?
Yeah, definitely.
How far is it away?
By foot, it's just less than 10 minutes away. Right, there's no need to.
That's near.
So on weekends or even weekdays, you can just bring your kids, have a short stroll. You can walk past Adam Road. We're gonna have some breakfast and have
before going down to the park.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, cool. So I think pretty much you cover most of these amenities nearby. It seems very comfortable for somebody who is staying there, especially if, let's say, for example, even for investment or own stay. I think is the rental for expat around the area good?
Yeah, rental volume in this area is actually fantastic because we are expecting tenants who are looking to put their kids through the prestigious schools around the area, and also expat tenants who want to live in the prime area. Okay, Bukit Timah is a very prime, affluent area. So most expats who are here on the short term, what they are looking for is actually location, because most of them do not drive. So location accessibility is very important for them.
Oh, I see. So I think the MRT that you mentioned earlier definitely plays a big part in the connectivity, moving them around, especially with the interchange station. So now we pretty much covered the environment, the place, the proximity to Orchard Road. So what is so unique about the Legend itself as a development?
Right. So what's so unique about the Legend is that it's standing on a land size of about 8,000 square feet. Okay, but it's only a single block project. Right. It's a 20-story project with only 98 units. So that means that you get a lot of privacy with a lot of land. Okay, such a development is considered quite low density, and there's quite a good on-block potential for such projects. Okay, this project is also well designed with bright, spacious, well-ventilated common areas. Okay, there are also recreational facilities such as a well-equipped gym, jacuzzi, swimming pool, and landscape garden. So for parking spaces as well, there are ample surface and basement car park lots for your guests and the residents. Okay, so if let's say you're looking to buy for your child who's studying in the vicinity, you can also be rest assured of their safety, right? There's 24-hour security. There's a intercom system that comes with the unit. And also there are only 2 units on each floor, and the lift will only take you to the unit that you're going, giving you maximum privacy. So you won't have actually neighbors coming from other floors disturbing you at your doorstep. So it's almost like having your own private lift essentially.
I see. So if you don't really fancy walking 5 minutes to the gym, this whole condo comes with fully equipped, like a standard condo, although it's very low density. I think one of the key things we really want to understand is about this is a very rare freehold mansion. So anything special besides staying in this development? What's so special about this particular unit that we are actually trying to push across?
Okay, firstly, freehold condos with maisonette, it's actually a rare find these days, not to mention that it's located in District 10. Okay, so a little bit more about this unit itself. It sits in its own corner. It's a corner unit on 17th floor, so very high floor, very good views. Okay, so when the lift opens up, there's only 2 units on that floor, and you have plenty of space outside your door, right? So my owners, there's even enough space to place a large shoe rack, a cozy couch, and a coffee table outside to enjoy your afternoon tea, right? So this unit is 1442 square feet. It's a high ceiling double volume masonette unit and comes with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Okay, this unit is fully renovated, it's very well maintained, and it's a 100% move-in condition. Okay, this apartment is very good size. The size is very suitable for couples or small families. Right? The owner was also very selective during the renovation process, and she only chose to use top grade and branded fittings for the unit. Okay. Quality materials such as marble, granite, and parquet are used for the flooring in the entire house. Okay, coming to the unit on the first floor, you can find the kitchen, the living, dining, and the guest room. And on the second floor is a very huge master room. Okay, first of all, the kitchen, it's fully functional with a cooker hood and hob. There's an oven, plenty of storage space in the top and bottom carpentry for your cooking needs. And moving on will be the guest room. So in the guest room, there's more than enough space to put in a king bed and a study table. Or if let's say you have a small family with kids, even enough space for 2 single beds as well. Okay, so there's a full height 3-panel built-in cabinet that's flush to the wall, so it doesn't jut into your living space. And also this room comes with an attached bathroom with a full-size mirror. Right, to keep the bathroom dry, the toilet is cleverly designed such that there's a glass door separating the shower and the toilet area. Right, so coming out to the first floor will be at the living and dining area. In this very spacious, very high ceiling area, there's more than enough space for a 6 to 8 seater dining table and also a 4-seater sofa set. In the double volume ceiling and the full height windows allows in plenty of natural light that you do not even need to switch on the lights in the day actually. So this one of the perks of this unit is that it's being on the high floor, you get a 180 degrees panoramic unblocked view of the clear sky and also the Bukit Timah greenery. Right, so this is actually the stack with one of the best views in this entire project. Okay, so both bedrooms actually have the same window facing as a living area. So you get to enjoy the beautiful scenery, not just in the living area, but in the comfort of your bed as well. Okay, so now that's about it for the first floor. I'll take you to the second floor. So you will access the second floor by a spiral staircase where the huge master bedroom is. The master bedroom, you can easily fit in a king-size table and a dressing table, no compromise on space at all. Okay, the master is designed with an open concept and curtains to brighten up the space with more natural light. If you wish to have some more separation, you can actually put up walls or glass panels above the ledge. Okay, entering the attached bathroom in the master, the first thing that catches attention will be the bathtub and the beautiful mosaic tiles. Right, it'll be perfect for you to wind down after a long day. Have a bath there, soap, have some wine. Okay, so moving deeper into the room actually will be the walk-in closet area where you can find a whole suite of full height built-in wardrobe. Right, so that's about it for this project.
I see, Marcus. Judging from what you say and the pictures that we have shown so far to our viewers, I can see that pretty much if somebody were to actually be purchasing this property itself, they will be looking at something. One of the key things that they will be looking at is probably saving a huge amount on the renovation and seeing how classy and nicely done up this place is. I think a key thing is that it's a really a move-in condition kind of unit that we are looking at right here. So okay, so that's one of the key things about this being a value buy, which is saving on the renovation. What about the transactional data in this location and why would this Legend unit be considered a value buy?
All right. Okay. First of all, it's not easy to find a freehold maisonette condo nowadays. What's more located in the prime district area, right? So as you know, Bukit Timah area prices are $2,000 per square foot and above easily, right? So some transactional data, some newer condos in District 10, we have 4th Avenue Residence, which is a 99 leasehold, not even a freehold. It's asking at $2,300 per square foot. Royal Green freehold, $2,700 per square foot. There's Leiden Green freehold, $2,500 per square foot. All right. So for the Legend, my owner is asking for only $1,700 per square foot. So look at the amount that you're saving here. And also, out of all the units in the Legend, this unit is actually the best, has the best views in the entire stack. It's north facing, you have a 180-degree unblocked view. You don't get to see the urban, you don't get to see tall buildings blocking your view, right? So for those who are looking to buy for investment, the rental volume, as I mentioned earlier, is actually pretty healthy. We have demands from expats and also tenants looking to put their kids into prestigious schools nearby. And for tenants who do not drive, this space is perfect for its location and also for its transport connectivity. And the neighborhood is also prime, very affluent, great accessibility, great amenities. So these are things that most expat tenants are looking for. Right, so at this location, this size, this price tag, maisonette lovers and investors will surely not want to miss out on this unit.
Looks like we are getting a lot of value out of this 1,007 PSF that we are paying for this unit itself. So Marcus, moving on to, I have some questions the viewers might have. It's that, what can you tell us a little bit more about private developments of such density? I understand that it's very rare to come by. So some of the viewers might be keen to know, like, what are the chances of en bloc further down the lane if I'm looking for an exit strategy when I buy into such a property?
Okay, so first of all, for en bloc, developers, they actually prefer to look for low to mid density projects because why they can make use of that extra space to build more units. Right. So such smaller and low density development actually have a higher chance of en bloc success as compared to larger development. So, and furthermore, most of the units at the Legend will comprise of maisonette double volume units. So with that extra space, 2 units they can build. With 1 unit, the current one, they can build in 2 units. So they can easily build more units on this piece of land to make a larger profits for the developers. Right. So if you're looking for own stay as well, lower density projects also give you more privacy and space, especially at the facilities, like at the pool, the common areas, where if you go to larger developments, it's always almost packed with people, so you don't get to enjoy those facilities in privacy. Yep.
So basically the buyer will be looking in the best of both worlds, whereby if they are looking for own stay, then they will be looking at the low density, don't have to share too much, have a lot of privacy, and yet moving down the lane in a few years' time, looking at a potential en bloc opportunity whereby the exit strategy is really there for them. I see. Okay, I think the third and the final questions I have for Marcus today is that, can you share on the transaction in this project itself and the neighborhood developments, and understand that Bukit Timah stretch has seen so much development in the past few years. How would it impact properties like this one?
Okay, so one of the key points that we've mentioned so far is its very convenient location. Right, so the Legend is very well connected. There's a lot of expressways, public transport, buses, MRT, whatever you mentioned, they will be there. Newton and Stevens MRT is very near, and the highlight will be the upcoming Thomson East Coast Line at Stevens. Right, this will drastically improve the accessibility of this place, and not as if it's not convenient enough. It's making it even more convenient. Right, so things like this will actually further increase its value. Right, property units that are located near the MRT station tend to be more sought after by tenants and homeowners alike, and definitely will be able to command a better price in the future, be it for own stay or be it for investment. There you will be able to see a capital gain from there. Okay, so over the last 5 years, actually, prices in the Legend have been on a steady and a healthy rise. Okay, one of similar projects in the area is Wing on Life Garden. Okay, it's a similar size project in District 10, but it's built in 1982. So it's 13 years older and has a recent average transactor price of about $1,000, $1,700 per square foot. Right, so $1,700 per square foot is what we are asking, or is the price we're asking right now. And at the same price for a project that is 13 years newer, you can think about the value that you're getting when you buy this unit. Right?
I see. So Marcus, thank you very much for sharing with us the legend. I think one of the key takeaway from having an MRT nearby for connectivity is that we tend to see, and I think you will agree with me that we tend to see a higher volume or a better prices for developments that are near MRT interchange instead of just a MRT station itself. I think this is what I think is a very key consideration for potential buyers out there. Yep. So today, thank you very much, Marcus, for sharing with us the legend. I think for a more in-depth understanding of this property itself, I think the best person to be approaching will be Marcus himself. So do drop him a call or text after with the details that we'll be attaching on this video itself. So thank you very much, Marcus, for sharing with us the development itself at the legend. Yep. So we look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. So after we found out more about the legend, next up is we have Clara from SRI. Clara today is going to bring us through this landed property in Saunders Road itself. So it is a terrace house situated in D9. So welcome, Clara.
Okay, hello, James. Hello, everyone. This is Clara from SRI. So today I'll be sharing with you all on a rare landed property for sale along Saunders Road. This property is located right in the heart of Orchard Road, within walking distance to your major shopping malls like 313 Somerset, Orchard Central, Centre Point, and more. This area is also a very attractive and quiet residential area with several commercial units in the main shopping zone near Orchard Road. So why a lot of buyers like this property is because it's actually a stone's throw away international school, Chatsworth International, which is a mid-sized private international school in Singapore. And it's also well located with less than 500 meters to Somerset MRT station. So if you want to walk, take a longer walk, you can also walk to MRT station like Newton MRT, which is where we have all the Newton Hawker Center as well. So being so near to the buzzing shopping, yet even in central of Orchard Road, this property is actually nested in a quiet and serene vicinity.
I see. So Clara, so let me sum up what you just shared with us earlier. So you're talking about this landed property that is located in Saunders and is very, very near to Somerset MRT, but yet walkable to Newton. So I'll still be able to enjoy Newton Food Center. And I heard you say that there's an international school nearby, which is Chatsworth, right? Yes. So how would you think that the rental market for this property would be? Like knowing that the expat probably like to stay in such an area, and what do you think about the rental market, rental yield in this area itself?
Okay, currently it's actually rented out. So the rental rate is actually quite good for an inter-terrace. It's rented out at 9,700.
Ah, okay, that's a quite healthy number. All right, so having to know about the area that this landed house resides in, tell us a little bit about what's so special about this place.
Okay, this place is actually very rare because only in Saunders Road is a whole row of a terrace house. Around the whole vicinity is actually Emirates Hill Conservation Area. So this area landmark neighborhood showcasing a charming Chinese style conservation shop house built in the early 90s. Emirates Hill actually boasts a number of high quality restoration projects that have won a URA Architecture Heritage Award.
I see. So basically, you're telling me that the charm of this this property here is that it's because it is modern, yet being nestled in a very in a conservation place whereby it actually marries between having a early 90s kind of no sorry it's 1900s
1900, yeah.
conservation houses with the modern built and even like for example I saw we went there and we saw even parking space that was not available in those conservation houses. Usually conservation houses don't have private parking, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. So next up, maybe knowing that this place, so tell us a little bit more about the house itself.
Okay, now let's take a closer look at the house. This property was fully rebuilt by the developer in 2012. It is designed as a modern classical black and white house. So the house, the land area is 2217 square feet with a total built up of 4,072. So total 5 bedroom. Unlike other houses along this vicinity, this house actually has a drive-in car porch, which is very spacious that the owner can park up to 2 cars and inside and 1 vehicle right outside the gate. So the plot of land is actually rectangular in shape with a width of 5.6 meter for the entrance and 36.9 meter depth running from the front of the car porch. So this land, the house main door faces northwest direction. So due to the architecture, most inter-terrace, we do not have a lot of sunlight in some parts of the house. But for this house, the developer actually built it with a lot of glass. So there's a lot of natural lights from all directions to the house and even to the bedrooms as well. So on the second level, we have a communal play area, a family corner, 2 spacious common bedrooms and a junior master all ensuite. The bedrooms are all with full height glass panels as I mentioned earlier. So all this actually allows a maximum light into the house. And from the family corner, you can actually interact with people at the kitchen area because there's this airwell space. So you actually feel very connected within the landed house, unlike most inter-terrace is actually without the airwell.
I see. So Clara, you were sharing with us earlier on that because of the very intelligent build or very intelligent design by the architect when they were building this place, is that they actually incorporate this air well that actually allows natural light to actually go all the way into the terrace houses, which most terrace houses don't actually enjoy.
Yes.
Okay, so you were sharing with me that this house is actually level 3. So the last we touched on was actually on the level 2, whereby the ensuite bedrooms and of course the family corner. So what's on the 3rd floor itself?
Okay, moving on to the 3rd floor, we will have a full privacy of master room where all the windows are facing the interior of the house with a semi-walk-in closet. So there are actually ample storage space for all your belongings like clothes, shoes, bags, and accessories. So, and also, please allow me to spend more time talking about the master bathroom. As whether we would like to talk about it or not, the time we spend in the bathroom is precious. It is where some of our most intimate moments takes place. And this master bathroom has such spaciousness in the house, a large stand-alone bathtub and double basin.
So you're telling me that, okay, so the house itself is very nice. So the owner of the house probably, or the tenants of this space probably can retreat to level 3, whereby it is a space by itself. The bathroom is actually very, very spacious, and it has this standalone bathtub that can unwind from the wrong after a long day. Okay. So Clara, in your opinion, so why do you think that this terrace house is so desirable for owners or even for tenants if somebody would decide to buy it for investment?
Okay, the thing is, this landed house is actually very rare because it's the only row of terrace in Emerald Hills vicinity. And also, a lot of people would love the location, which is off Orchard Road Kent Hill in Prime District 9. And it's also very easy to find a tenant in future, because a lot of Caucasians, they like to stay within the international school as well.
I see. So earlier on, off the air, we were discussing about this house being rebuilt not too long ago. So how does this translate into value for the potential buyer? So having to know that they're probably in the conservation houses, those that are nearby probably are already very old. So how does this translate to value to some of the potential buyers out there?
Okay, actually the interior of this house is very well designed. I would say that most, and very modern as well. So most buyers who buy it will most likely just do a minor touch up, and then they can just move in. It's actually considered like a move-in condition. So they don't have to spend so much on like rebuilding or re-renovating the place.
Yeah, so all these are opportunity costs, of course. Like they save on the renovation cost, and of course the time, very importantly, the time spent on the renovation, which could eat into the potential rental yield. I see. Okay, so share with us, who is this well-known architect that designed this place?
Okay, the well-known architect is actually Tang Tai Jin Architects. They are actually
very renowned architect.
Very established architect. So you actually in this house we have a lot of quality fixtures and fittings as well.
I see. So Clara, to sum it up for this place for this terrace house in Saunders that we are actually marketing for the seller itself, it's actually a very modern house that is within the vicinity of conservation, nestled within the conservation house. So you actually get a taste of modern living in a very chic neighborhood. Am I right to say so?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's all we have for this terrace house that's nestled within Saunders Road. Thank you, Clara, for sharing this with us.
Yeah, thank you, James. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you, Clara, for sharing with us this wonderful property at Saunders Road. So listeners, if you are keen to find out more about this property or to schedule a private viewing with Clara, do find the listings listed on MOGUL.sg. Just have to search for Saunders Road. Thank you. We will be taking a short 5 minutes break before coming back to share more on the prime commercial properties we have for you. See you.
Welcome back to the webinar. We are now joined by Gerald Sim, co-founder of MOGUL.sg. Today, he will be sharing with us two high potential commercial spaces. Good morning, Gerald.
Hi, James. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Today, we have a very special segment here for our MOGUL investors. The two upcoming properties that I'm going to introduce would be of special interest to groups like REITs and private equity funds who look for properties to invest with good long-term yields. Okay, there'll be two properties we'll be covering today. The first one being one at Orchard Towers, and the second one being a property at Holland Village. Okay, I'll first start off with one that's very familiar to us, which is the property at Orchard Towers. Okay, the commercial spot that's available now used to be a nightclub. Okay, as we all know, COVID-19 has affected a lot of these businesses in the entertainment industry. But let's take a quick rewind to what this space was used for before the crisis. Okay, so up till about November last year, this place was tenanted out to a nightclub where the previous owner, the current owner, was enjoying up to 5% yield on this property. Okay, so Orchard Towers is well known for being one of the properties that gives the highest yield in Orchard Road. Why? Because firstly, Orchard Towers is one of the lowest priced buildings in the Orchard Road stretch. As you know, Orchard Road is very built up with a lot of new properties, and Orchard Road and Orchard Towers being built in 1975 is an older building. Okay, it hosts 58 freehold condominiums upstairs, a vast array of shops, food courts, pubs, and even some tailors and whatnots. Okay, but the Orchard Towers is split into three segments. Okay, there's a residential segment, there is a commercial segment, and there is an office segment in here. Traditionally, you know, the commercial segments will be housed by a lot of pubs, nightclubs, and we all know it's a very busy place. And hence, these commercial properties have always historically given a very good yield to the owners. Okay, not to forget that Orchard Towers also has very ample parking space with 4 floors of parking, and the building connects to the car park. So it's great convenience for any F&B or entertainment outlet.
Sure, Gerald. So help me understand a little bit, help the viewers understand a little bit more. So besides you saying that the previous tenant of this place that we are in question, so which is previously a nightclub, so which is having like 5% yield. So what else? What are the potential usage of this place should the new owner decided not to go into the entertainment business?
I think given the current situation, if the new owners do not go into the entertainment business, it will be a wise choice. Right? You know, we've got all these restrictions. You've got to close by 10:30. You know, it's not as good as before. But what people need to see is that this spot, it's in prime Orchard Road area. Okay, you are surrounded by very high-end properties around there. You're surrounded by tourism spots, hotels, and all this. I would personally give a very good suggestion that this spot could be a very well leased out to one of the very famous, you know, hot pot chains. Okay, if you look around, right, the nearest big hot pot chain is probably 2.5 kilometers down the stretch towards Somerset. You know, so this is one of the spots that has ample parking. Right, this unit is right beside the escalator. Right, this unit is large enough, and it's got no columns inside. Right, so because you know the old dance floors and music floors and all those, so it's got this great stretch out there that's open. You can really maximize your F&B space here. Not to forget, this previous tenant already has an F&B license and all that, so it'll be easy to obtain one. So yeah, so having if someone were to invest in this property, right, pick a proper tenant that comes in, a well-known tenant to come in, like I suggested. I think it would give very good yield.
I see. Okay. So next up, I think one of the questions is that why would the new owner feel that this is one of the lowest priced commercial spaces in this district? Okay. Like, what are the transactional data that actually supports this?
Okay. So if you look around Orchard Road, okay, let's go a bit macro around the Orchard Road area. Orchard Road, a lot of these commercial units go for $4,000 and up. Okay, Orchard Towers has traditionally commanded a lower selling price. Okay, its location is no more inferior than anything else, but it's an older building here. Okay, older building means you've got larger spaces, ample parking, but with the rest transacting at above $4,000, Orchard Towers has been commanding only $3,500 to $5,000 for their commercial spaces. Okay, and that is why you have your previous owners being able to command such a high yield, because you're buying at a lower price than most of the Orchard Road commercial spaces, but you are getting equal or if not greater number of footfall in this area. And not to forget that Orchard Towers operates in its heyday almost 24 hours, right? It goes on late into the night. So yeah, F&B is a good choice for this area.
I see. Okay, so I think one of the things is for most investors is actually looking for the exit strategy. What, in your view, what do Orchard Towers have in store for these owners?
Okay, so whenever, as an investment, right, the first thing you look for is a good yield. The second thing you look for is what you correctly brought up, exit strategy, right? So one of the good exit strategies to have is to always buy a property that has good en-bloc potential. Okay, nobody's going to en-bloc a new building. The built-in price will be too high. So Orchard Towers stands as one of these high potential properties. Why? Currently, I may be a bit off with my numbers here, about more than 25% of the strata titles here is held by one party, okay, one investor. And if you look further down the line on the ownership, I mean, if you call our commercial specialist, he can give you all these details. If you look further down the line, there are several other, what I call anchor owners who own multiple units within this development, okay? So an en-bloc exercise here would be, I would say, not sure if the right word to use, but it would be generally easier because you're dealing with fewer parties, right? And above all, the location. You're right in Claymore Hill, right? You're right at the corner of Claymore and Orchard Road. This is prime District 10 location at a good price. Yeah.
All right. I think that sums it up for this commercial space in the heart of Orchard. So I think next up, you're going to bring us to something that's some commercial property that it's in a very chic neighborhood.
Yeah. The next one we wanted to talk about is the Holland Village Shopping Center unit, right?
Okay.
So yeah, this is a unique commercial space because again, if you look around Holland Village, right, you've got recent developments that have started recently, like One Holland Village. That in itself is a mega development that's going to bring in a large population of a young, and high income earning population to move in. Okay, so Holland Village has gone through a revamp. You can see a lot of new condominiums coming up all the way from the Holland Village area, all the way up to Holland Hill. Okay, so as the old 8 stories start coming down and people start building 14 stories and above, you can see the general traffic in this area increasing. I think in that sense, it makes any older Holland Village properties here quite interesting for investors to take a look at.
Okay, so I think most of us are no stranger to Holland Village by itself. The neighborhood itself is it's very vibrant. What about this commercial space that we are talking about? How special is it? What kind of users can we use for these commercial spaces? And what are potential usage that the investors can look at? Okay.
Firstly, right now I would say there's a very well-known tenant in place. The tenant of the current unit is a household name in Singapore, right? You can always contact our specialists to find out more. But prior to this tenant moving in a few years ago, it was previously a cafe. That means that this also has a potential for F&B. It also has the things like, all the built-ins necessary for F&B inside already. Your floor traps and all these things are all there. Okay, and
I'm going to hold you up right there. So
right.
The potential owner of this place is already looking at a tenant, an anchor tenant for this space itself. So he doesn't have to go through to search for a potential tenant that when he buys this commercial space.
Yes, this property is interesting because it's currently tenanted. It's got a long-term contract agreement built in place. I think if you take a look at the contract, you will find it very interesting, and it actually increases your yield throughout the years.
See.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the up and coming plans for URA for Holland Village itself, impacting this location?
I think the main plan is to turn Holland Village into a charming district. I mean, it already is a charming district, but their URAs, you see the permits they've been giving out for rebuilding in this area is generally increasing the population density around this area. Okay, and why so? There are very many good schools around, primary schools around this area. There are very many food, eateries and everything in this area. It's going to be part of URA's plan, right, to continue developing this area. There are a lot of also old buildings here, right? They have not maximized their plot ratios, right? So I think you will see in coming years that the buildings will start coming up at higher elevations, which means more and more footfall.
I think it's very well located. Looking at the location of this place, this is right outside the MRT station, and we are also looking at MOE down the road.
Yeah.
There's a couple of interesting things in this, so I think this would really generate a lot of interest from our viewers itself. So tell us a little bit more. What else do you have for us in this for this Holland Road Shopping Centre unit?
I think most importantly, we all know that there's a very big cold storage downstairs, right? So that's one big tenant up there, and it's one of the oldest buildings in Holland Village, barring the conservation shop houses. Okay, so it is also one of those properties with high upside on a potential en bloc, right, for redevelopment.
So again, we are looking at an exit strategy ready.
Yes.
In plan for the potential buyer.
Yes, of course. The reason that we picked these two properties out of the very very many properties that we have is because we see the exit strategy here also, right? It's quite a simple process, right? Developing area,
buy in,
right?
get you ready for exit. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Very chic neighborhood with one old building left inside, right? Very few owners, not too big a development at present. So I think these are all properties with high potential of an en bloc and exit for the investors.
Thanks, Gerald, for sharing with us these two commercial properties. I think it's very interesting to look at such place that it's very, very high potential, I must say. So thank you again,
James,
Gerald, for sharing with us.
I'm just going to interrupt you a bit here. Thank you for having me today. But the key thing here is that we do know, right, that the owners have actually looked to sell both owners of both properties have actually looked to sell their properties before the circuit breaker, right? So they understand the situation right now is not the same as before, and we know that the prices listed are highly negotiable. The owners have indicated they are willing to listen to offers. So for anyone that's interested, please contact our commercial specialist. His number will be listed here below. I think it's a good opportunity that people should not miss off. Right? Thank you very much, Jane.
All right. So thank you again, Gerald, for sharing with us. There's two very interesting properties that we have for the commercial spaces. So again, like what Gerald just shared, the price is still negotiable. So do contact the mortgage specialist. Do contact our property concierge commercial specialist on these two properties. Should you be interested? Thank you, Gerald.
Okay, it's time to take a short break before we hear from our next guest on the topic of mortgage loans. See you.
So welcome back everybody to the webinar, to the MOGUL's webinar on properties. And next up we have Wan Wei from Maybank. She's going to share with us more about mortgage loans in Singapore. So hi Wan Wei.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Wan Wei from Maybank Mortgage.
Hi Wan Wei. So I think we go straight to business. I think one of the key things in Singapore is about leveraging to purchase properties in Singapore itself. So I think one of the key things is what we want to find out is, of course, this along the line of mortgage loan will be probably the common questions such as why fixed, why floating, and how much can I borrow? So maybe today you can bring us through all these questions that we have.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Let's start with what is Maybank actually offering right now?
Okay, in terms of, say, our interest rates packages, we do have fixed and floating, and this will only, fixed rates is only applying to the completed properties, the resale properties. So for our fixed rate properties, we're actually very competitive. So right now, for 2 years and 3 years fixed, we are at 1.3%, and for 4 years and 5 years fixed, we are at about 1.4%. And for the floating one, we are actually using the SIBOR packages. So it's 3 months SIBOR plus 3 months SIBOR plus 0.85% for the first 2 years. So effectively, it will be about 1.25%.
So Wan Wei, can you share with us what does actually SIBOR stands for?
Okay, SIBOR is actually the Singapore Interbank Offered Rate, which is the benchmark interest rates that are stated in Singapore dollars for lending between banks within the Asian market. So it's actually, essentially, it's a reference rate for lenders and borrowers that participate directly and indirectly in the Asian economy.
I see. So Singapore Interbank operate at a period of 3 months, which is 3 months SIBOR. I see. This is what 3 months SIBOR plus 0.85. I see. Okay, so I think another burning question that most of us would usually wonder is that should I choose fixed or should I choose floating?
Okay, well, this I would say that it depends a lot on the customer's needs in terms of what they are looking for. Like for example, for the interest rates for fixed rates packages, they are in general fixed according to the lock-in period or the commitment period of the loan package. Like for example, a 3 years fixed rate package would actually have a 3 years lock-in period, and a 4 years fixed rate will actually have the 4 years lock-in period. But for our SIBOR, it's actually a lock-in of 1 year only. So I would say, for example, customers who are looking more into, say, for own stay properties, they can actually go for a longer term lock-in. But for investors who are looking to like investment properties, they can actually look into the shorter period of the lock-in period. So this will allow them to actually liquidate the property a lot faster as well.
I see. So does Maybank offer like a waiver in the case of sale of property?
In our general features of the packages, we don't. But we can try to request. It's subjected to each different cases as well as the profile of the totality of the case that we're looking at.
I see. So it allow me to sum it up. So if I'm I'm staying in a property for owner's own occupation, I will probably want to fix in a fixed rate and forget about it for the next 4 or 5 years. But if I'm an investor looking to exit the property market in the short term, I will probably look into the floating one to offer myself some flexibility in terms of the rates.
Definitely.
I see. Okay, I think one of the second thing I would like to find out on behalf of the listeners is that, what's the maximum loan that I can actually borrow? What's the current regulations that we are actually needing to adhere to?
Yes. Okay. So for the maximum loan that the bank can borrow to a person, it depends on, I would say, 2 or 3 things, depending whether you're looking at a private property or a HDB or an EC. So firstly, I will talk about the loan to value amount. So assuming it's a first time property buyer, so it's actually capped at 75% of the purchase price or valuation, whichever is lower. And secondly, what affects a customer's eligibility to loan is also what we call the total debt servicing ratio, the TDSR. So TDSR limit is actually at 60% of your gross monthly income. So all these things that is taken into account other than say the mortgage loan that the customer is actually looking to take up with. For example, car loan, personal loan, credit card usage that's not fully paid for, it will be taken into the TDSR calculation.
Well, wait, Shed some light on the buying process. Let's say assuming, okay, we're gonna fill in a few shoes today. So assuming that we are going to be the first time property buyer today, how much cash must I ready on hand? How much CPF do I need to ready on hand? And how much, earlier on you were telling me that the loan will be 75% for the first property?
Yes, maximum of 75%.
Okay, so what about the rest of the 25% that we are talking about?
Okay, so for, say, assuming a customer is taking up a 75% loan of the purchase price or valuation, 5% of the purchase price or valuation has to be in cash. And the other 20%, it can be in CPF and or cash if, let's say, customer do not have enough in the CPF OA account. Yep.
I see. So another thing is that is stamp duty being payable by CPF itself?
Stamp, usually, yes, it is. But at the start, customers usually would have to come up with the cash first because unless the OA already has enough funds to be paid for the stamp duty.
I see.
But
so have to pay ahead first.
Yes. So, but for customers who are actually buying and selling the house, it would not be in time for the CPF to come back into the OA account. Usually, it can be refunded by the CPF, but usually the stamp duty will have to be paid for in cash by the borrowers first.
I see. So let's change the other pair of shoes, which is assuming now that I'm looking in the investment property. So I'm still having existing loan. So how does that impact me in terms of getting a new one?
Okay, so if let's say there's an existing loan on the borrower's application, so it will be considered a second home loan, and a second home loan will actually affect the LTV. So the LTV will be kept at 45% of the purchase price or valuation this time, and the cash down payment would have to be increased to 25%.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's an increase of 20% in terms of cash commitment upfront when I'm getting a second property. I see. Right. Okay. That's until the current rules and regulation that we have to adhere to. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I were to be able to, one thing that I'd like to ask again is, does my age really matters in terms of the number of years or tenure that I am able to take the loan for?
Yes, of course. So for loans up to 75% of the purchase price or valuation, it's actually up to the age of 65 years old.
Okay. So if I'm 45 this year, I can loan 20 years.
Yes, that's right. And then the loan tenure will also affect the monthly repayment as well, the TDSR. So a shorter loan tenure will actually have a shorter period of repaying your mortgage in that period of time. So it's going to be a little bit heavy on the TDSR. So a longer loan tenure will actually be easier in terms of the monthly repayment for customers.
I see. So one way. So tell us about your what does Maybank thinks in terms of the market, the interest rate moving into 2021?
2021. Okay, well the forecast
for your customer, what would you
customers, okay, for my customers is that just let me touch a little bit at the end of 2020. A lot of them are still going for the floating rates because SIBOR is still dropping and everything. But for 2021, a lot of my customers are actually choosing the fixed rate packages because it's in a way when it nets off, it's about the same. And it offers a lot of security in terms of choosing a fixed rate package because regardless of the market movement, whether it's going upwards or downwards or whether it's crashing, but this certainty is something that my customers are actually looking for. Because as compared to say estimated 0.4% 3-month SIBOR plus 0.85% spread is at 1.25 versus say 2 years fixed at 1.3. The difference does not make a lot, but it does offer that sense of security and a peace of mind to them.
Okay, keeping everything constant in terms of the land, in terms of the amount borrowed and the tenure. So the 0.05% on $1 million loan, does that make a lot of difference in terms of the monthly repayment?
It depends. So it depends on the loan amount as well. So of course, if let's say you're looking at a bigger loan amount, it makes a lot more difference as compared to a smaller loan amount. So if let's say a lot of the customers who are actually purchasing say over $1 million property, they are still very likely attracted to the SIBOR package. As they are more, they would like to take up the risk, and they just feel like the SIBOR would continue going down in a sense.
So more pessimistic on the economy. The more pessimistic you feel about the economy, the more floating rate you want to go to.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I think that sums up most of the questions I have for you today. So thank you, Wan Wei, for sharing all this mortgage-related information with us. I think most of, if any of you listeners would like to find out more about the mortgage loans that's being offered by Maybank, please do reach out to Wan Wei here. Now, thank you, Wan Wei, for joining us today.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you gain valuable insights on the properties being featured today. So to find out more information on these properties, do visit us on MOGUL.sg. Alternatively, reach us via Facebook in the comments below, and we will get back to you ASAP. So with that, have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in the next segment of MOGUL Spotlight. Goodbye.